going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. You guys loved the last video where my dad ranked every single Star Wars film from worst to best. That was a very fun video. Today we're in a different location, different microphone. You're going to be able to hear him, correct?
Correct.
So now you will be able to hear him correctly, but we are going to be ranking Marvel Studios Cinematic Universe Phase 1. He's only seen Phase 1, guys. He will be watching the rest of the phases. He'll be watching every single film. This is how it's going to go. We're going to do Phase 1. He's going to watch Phase 2. Then we're going to rank Phase 2. Then we're going to do Phase 3, and then he's going to rank them all. So you still have 3 more videos of my dad ranking movies all together, and then we'll find something else for him to rank. Maybe my mom will join in for one of them, but this is going to be a fun video at that, guys. So thank you so much for clicking on this. Hit that like and subscribe button if you guys are new here. You guys enjoy this content. If you want a t-shirt, that's one of the t-shirts. Go check it out. I'm wearing my Venom shirt that I really like, and I want to wear this. But we have 6 films to go through, so let's just get started. And Dad, at your number 6 is, of course, Iron Man. The one that started it all. This is your least favorite MCU film as of right now for Phase 1. Iron Man is your least favorite. Let's talk about it. So looking at the notes, Tony Stark's obviously held captive in the beginning of this. He makes the first suit out of iron. Duh. Right? Terrence Howard is what you said the highest paid actor on this film, yes, correct? When you were looking it up.
Yeah.
So your rating for this out of 10 was a 5.
Right.
So tell me, like, was this your first time actually seeing the film, or had you seen it beforehand?
I had seen it beforehand.
Okay. Did you like it more this time or the last time?
Last time.
Okay. So what killed it for you this time? Was it cheesy? Was it boring?
You know, he's just cocky, and I'd seen it before.
Okay.
And so this time, I watched it, and it was definitely entertaining. But it's the first one, so that's why you give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I haven't been wowed yet.
You haven't been wowed. Okay,
no,
so
we'll get to that.
So did you like the villain in this? Jeff Bridges is Obasitis.
Yeah. I mean, I always like the Bridges. That's
okay.
Old school, and it's safe for
and you
them
liked
to do that. Sure.
Okay, because for me, I really like him as a villain. I think he's a cool villain. I think he's a little bit different than some of the other characters that we've gotten before. But you gave it a 5, man. I mean, I'm at like a 9 for this film. I think this film's awesome. It kicks off strong. It goes fast, and it's a perfect origin story for Tony Stark. Did you like how he had to build the suit in that terrorist tunnel? How he's being captive?
Yeah, I mean, it was all good. I mean,
did you find it boring?
Entertaining? No, but it's entertaining, right? And you're asking for a ranking, and so I put it as
your least favorite. So if you had to rewatch all of these, this would be like the one I don't care to rewatch. Still.
Did
you like the after credit scene with Samuel Jackson walking in and saying, "I want to start the Avengers initiative"?
We liked that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember when I went to go see that for the first time, Grammy took me, and we did not know about that after credit scene. So then she actually ended up taking me again because I wanted to see the after credit scene, because then we started hearing because back then, like, movie news wasn't aplenty. Like, we didn't know they were at least I didn't know they were creating this Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the thing that's really cool is that no studio before has ever done this, where movies on movies on movies had connected. This is the first big project in it. And the coolest thing that I really like about this is, I watched this one critic, and he talked about this, and he goes, if you really think about it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is pretty much a giant TV show that's just going on. Every film connects in some way, shape, or form, and you don't have to see them all, but you should see them all to get the overarching picture. And that's what I really like about it, because each and every film, besides one of the ones that is coming up, is definitely not really connected at all. Which, I guess, let's get to your number 5. Your number 5 is The Incredible Hulk. I thought you were going to like this one a little bit more. Now, I like this film more than I think most do. And I think it's because this is kind of where Marvel is trying to figure out, are we going to go to the lighter tone, or are we going to go to the darker tone? They obviously chose the more lighter tone with Iron Man. That's the one that made more money. That was the one that was more successful. Incredible Hulk, they haven't made a solo film in, 10, 12 years from now. And Mark Ruffalo is now the Hulk. Did you like Edward Norton as Hulk?
I sure did.
Okay.
I like him as an actor, and have not seen too many bad movies with him.
Okay. So, and with this, there's not much to talk about with Hulk, to be honest. There's some horrific moments into it. Did you like the transformations? Did you like how he was dealt being with the Hulk, or did you find it cheesy?
I mean, I thought it was good, but reserved.
Okay, and then did you like the villain Abomination? Because that last fight sequence between Hulk and Abomination, I think, is one of the best parts in the whole universe.
I mean, to cap it off, sure.
Okay, did you like Abomination? Did you like the look, the design?
I mean, look at my notes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to go through. And you gave this one a 5.5 out of 10.
Thought it was
you liked it more than Iron Man. And Mom thought she actually changed her score for the last film because she didn't like this one, and she actually liked Iron Man more after watching this. So it's interesting. The other thing kind of diving in this, obviously this also has an after credit scene with Iron Man walking in. Did you like that? Did you know he was going to be in it?
No, I didn't.
Was this your first time seeing this film?
No.
Second. Okay, second time seeing them.
But more engaged this time.
Because now
I'm not watching them as just entertainment. Now I'm watching them for the big picture. Like you're talking
Which here's the thing. One of the notes Maddie put was, which Madeline's my sister. She put, Dad, before the movie even started, I was wowed before the first time I watched an X-Men film. I just wasn't wowed last night in reference to Iron Man, and now obviously this film too.
Right.
Be honest,
I've told you that. I mean,
is it a little tough for you? Are you kind of being like, do I really want to do all these MCU films?
Well, I'm not I've never been a superhero.
To be honest, I think the last comic book film you really liked wasn't Deadpool 2, but it was Deadpool 1.
Yes.
I remember you really liked that one.
That was really good.
You liked X-Men First
Class.
But
that's an easy one to like.
You liked X-Men First Class.
Yep.
You like Kick-Ass. You like Kick-Ass a lot.
Yep.
Would Kick-Ass be one of your favorite comic book films of all time?
Yeah, I think it would be up there. That first one, it was just such a surprise. I'm not familiar with the comic book, so when he shoots his kid with the bulletproof vest in the beginning, like, what the hell?
Yeah. If you guys want, we will do my dad's top 10 favorite comic book films of all time. That would be interesting. I would have to, but we'll probably do it after this. That way you can figure out if any of these films are in your list.
And again, I'm not a comic book guy, so he tells me, "Oh, that's from a comic book," and then I know.
Like Kingsman's a comic book.
Yeah, I had no clue, and that was a great movie too.
Which let's get to your. So we went through 6, 5. Now 4 is Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yep.
I thought this would have been your favorite. And
so
I really
did
thought,
actually,
because this film, I think, is the most underrated film in the whole entire universe, in this whole cinematic universe. Not enough people talk about it as an origin story. And for me, I'm just curious with you. Obviously, Tony's dad is a part of this. His dad's one of the main guys who installs him. Peggy Carter's a big character to it. Hugo Weaving plays Red Skull. You also have Bucky Barnes, his kind of sidekick in there. Why is this so low for you? Why is this one?
We're just through the first phase, right? So these are all
because you gave this one a 6.5 out of 10.
This could still be in my top 5. It could still be in my top 10. You know what I mean? I do like the period piece, and you know that. I like when they go back in the the 40s.
See, and for me, the two things I don't like about this, which reading your notes, you said his first outfit was a little goofy looking.
Sure.
Which
it was supposed to be.
The second thing I don't like is I feel that the first half is really strong. It's really strong, and then the back half is kind of montaged through kind of that middle piece when you're seeing all the missions he's going on. I'm like, I wanted to see the missions he was going on. But for me, the thing that really sticks out for this film is Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. I love Red Skull. Did you like Hugo Weaving? He's a great actor.
He's always good.
So you liked him though? You like? Did you like Peggy Carter? His love interest in here of some sorts?
Yeah, I mean...
Did you believe in their romance? Because that's a big thing. A lot of people criticize relationships and romances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I did.
Peggy Carter is one of the ones with Captain America, and then you also have Iron Man and Pepper Potts as well. Which one do you like more so far? Peggy and Cap, or Iron Man and
I actually like the Iron Man
and Pepper.
Yeah.
I love them to death. And then Bucky Barnes, his best friend. Did you like that relationship he had with him? Did you like those elements? Of course, you see that whole thing when he's all skinny, he hasn't gotten big yet. He goes, "Hey, I'll come back for you," and then it switches around, and you have that whole conversation. So, did you like the visual effects on that? How skinny they made him?
I love it how they just develop the character, and you see him go from this, the guy on the beach getting sand kicked on him, to this.
And what if you had one scene that you remember from this film, what would it be that was like your favorite? Like, was it a certain action set piece? Was it a certain character moment?
I always like when the characters are developing their powers or finding,
so like the origin stories
how
in the
to
beginning.
Use them, right?
So once he first gets once he gets all big and he comes out, and then it kind of turns into that. It's really interesting. Did you know? And maybe I'm wrong. Did you know? But I'm like 98% sure. Did you know the Hulk serum that turns him the Hulk? That's a modified version of the super serum from the Captain America. I don't remember if they say that in the movie. Do they?
I'm not sure in that one, but they talked about it, I believe, in the Avengers. Like they talked about Tony Stark and his dad. And the serum, right?
Yes.
That's it, right?
Yes.
So,
but it's one of the films that I really like. I like the period piece aspect. I like those elements of it. Which I guess let's get to your number 3, which this is like a lot of people's bottoms, and I'm shocked that it's this high for you. But it's Iron Man 2 is your number 3, and your score for this one, I gotta find it real fast. But why this one? Why this one?
Here's what you gotta understand. Again, I'm not a comic book guy, not a superhero.
But you liked it more than the first one,
right? This was also the first time I've seen it. So that could have a lot to do with it. You know, I was entertained. I love the AC/DC soundtrack that just seems to follow Iron Man wherever he goes.
Which is fun. And so for this one, you gave it a 6.5 out of 10, the same score as Captain America. And
because I liked them both, you know, and that, you know, what's my highest score so far?
6.5 out of 10. So I'm curious for Iron Man 2, was this one, because this one I don't like because I think it's a mess. It's trying to set up this Avengers stuff. It's trying to set up everything leading into the Avengers. This is this big setup movie, and that's why I feel like it's a little clunky. It was very rushed. Jon Favreau has actually talked about how rushed he was on this film directing it, that he only had like a couple months to write the script before they had to actually go into actively shooting the film. So for me, the things that kind of stick out for me is Black Widow's fight scene, Black Widow being introduced in here. Love what they did with Scarlett Johansson here. Did you like that when she finally starts kicking ass?
Yeah.
The other thing is Captain America's shield shown. You see some little Easter eggs kind of planted in the background. You see more of the stuff of Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury kind of talking about Iron Man, the initiative, and everything about that. So for me, though, this film comes down, there's two villains in this. There's Sam Rockwell's Justin Hammer, and then there's Mickey Rourke's Russian dude. Right. Which one did you like more?
I'm a Mickey Rourke fan, man.
So you like Mickey Rourke over Sam Rockwell. See, I think Justin Hammer's so overrated or underrated. Yeah. But you like Mickey Rourke's character. I thought he was weird with the bird, and you know those are all his choices. He said, "I'm not doing the movie without the bird and stuff like that."
Very eccentric character. Man.
So it's interesting to say that. And you said, Dad said Elon Musk is an equivalent of Iron Man. Musk is briefly in this one, and I forget that Elon Musk is actually in the film.
Right, and it was funny because I think prior to this movie starting, you know, because this was the second Iron Man, I think one of the kids asked me, and that would be Madeline probably, you know, who would you equate this person to nowadays? And I said probably like an Elon Musk.
Which you're not wrong. I mean, I would if anyone made
it,
if anyone made a suit, and but yeah, obviously the film ends with Tony not being approved for the Avengers Initiative, but one of my favorite things about this, and I think this is an underrated action sequence, is Tony and Rhodey finally getting together. They're in the Iron Man suits together, and they're fighting all the robots at the end. Did you like that action sequence? Did you like how that came out? And then the thing with Rhodey, did you like the difference with Don Cheadle instead of Terrence Howard, or do you miss Terrence Howard? That's a lot of people miss Terrence Howard in these films.
Yeah, you know, that's why I like not talking a lot about the films before I see them, because then I don't know all this background. I don't know that Jon Favreau is rushed and things like that. I mean, it was a good movie. He fooled me if he was phoning it in, right?
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
Did you like Don Cheadle instead? Or could you even tell?
No, I could tell. I mean, I definitely could tell, but knowing that background now with the Terrence Howard thing, Don Cheadle was fine. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And that's my thing. Like, I've never loved that character. Like, I think he's a cool character, but I've never been like, oh, give him his own solo film. You know?
Right.
Which, exactly. I mean, gets us to your number 2, which is the first Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh. This is a movie that I find boring. I just find it boring. I think it's good. I like the themes of it. I like Chris Hemsworth in it. I just think it's completely boring every time they go to Earth. Everything on Earth I find completely boring. So tell me with you on this. Why do you like Thor so much?
I like the way he talks.
You like that, and then see,
I think we should always talk like this.
You think he should? So there's a lot of things. You talked about how this felt like Game of Thrones in a little bit with the frost giants in the beginning.
Yeah. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you definitely see that now. Going back and watching it and going, okay, there was some inspiration there.
Yes, and did you like a lot of Thor's friends that he had like relationships with that kind of showed up and helped him out a bit?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, those are always fun.
Yeah,
you know,
and see, for your score for this one is a 6.5 out of 10 as well. So I feel like you're a 7. Let's be honest, you're a 7 on this film.
I could be, and we talked about, you know, the ranking, and then within the ranking, ranking the movie itself, and that's really tough right now. But at some point, I'll go back and I'll fine tune these. Right?
Well, and tell me, like, so did you like Loki as a villain in this? Did you like how he was
I'm not
brother?
A big fan of Loki, but I do. He plays it perfect. You know what I mean?
Now, and then this is the one I'm curious. Do you like Thor's relationship with Natalie Portman in these films?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird, and
it was cringy. It was cringy. I didn't.
Well, and then you come up on something where I didn't think you could come back to Earth. Later, and so that might be a question later.
So you'll figure that all.
But
later
I like Natalie Portman.
So, but
you know,
and that's the thing. I like her. She
it was
bad mouths these films. Says how much, like, how crappy the scripts were. And in a sense, she did these for the money. So she could go and do independent Oscar baity films and stuff like that. Okay. Like, she is not talk crap. But now, she's actually going to be returning for the next Thor that comes out not next year, but 2022. Okay. And a lot of the reason I believe that she's doing that is because in the comic books, she actually takes the mantle of Thor. And she walked out at Comic-Con last year, and I took a picture of her holding the hammer.
Oh, wow.
And they said that she will be taking the mantle on in this one, but Chris Hemsworth will still be in it. Huh. Everyone's coming back.
I don't know if I like that
already. I love it. I love it. So I don't know what comic line storyline, but they in the comic books, and I could be wrong, but from what I remember is that he gives her the hammer so she can stay alive because she's dying of cancer.
Okay.
And that's how she gets the powers and everything. And it's really interesting because the next film in the Thor, it'll be the 4th Thor film. It'll be called Thor: Love and Thunder. And it comes out on Valentine's Day, guys. What a perfect title for that. I'm literally more excited. That's the only Thor film I've ever been excited for, because for me, I only like Chris Hemsworth I only like the Thor character really when he's in a team. I don't really care for him in his solo films. I find them to be a little bit boring or tad too much, which you'll get into once you see the other ones.
Sure. Right.
But obviously, certain elements happen. Did you like Odin? Did you like Anthony Hopkins and that figure? I think Odin's great. Yeah. I think this film's best work with it is the brother and father relationships that they all have in here with Odin, Loki, and Thor, and all those things kind of going about. And for me, looking into there, I guess you did. In your notes, they said that you did like the chemistry between Jane and Thor and thought they were funny. You also threw in that you like Thor's father and that Loki is a liar. All the time. Yeah. Right. Which, diving into this, Thor destroys the bridge, their father saves them, and Loki falls off, going into what would be the next film. But so,
I thought he died.
You did?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so people never die in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you think someone died, they most likely didn't. It's a comic book film, guys. They all come back together. But we come down to your number one, which...
So far...
I am completely shocked that this is your number one, and that is the first Avengers, guys. The first Avengers is your favorite Phase 1 Marvel film, so far your favorite MCU film. So, a little bit of background history. Yes. This is your second viewing of this film. The first time we went and saw this, we went and saw it like the second day after it came out. Me, you, and Curtis all went and saw it. Yep. You took us to this cool theater where the seats moved. The seats legit moved, guys, but... it was in 3D.
Yes.
And the 3D nearly killed it when the seats are moving. And for you, I still enjoyed it, but for you were like,
Yeah, for me, the movie was dark. You know, you've got these flat-lensed 3D glasses that I see the exit sign reflecting through, and it was just really dark, and I just didn't enjoy the film the first time I saw it. So
then this time,
I'll be honest with you, I was not looking forward. This was probably the biggest gap we took between movies of watching this phase.
Because this is the one.
It was just the one I was just like,
because you watched the rest of them in what, like 2-3 days?
Yeah, we did those. Maybe 4. Nearly, but we watched every night. This one, I didn't want to watch it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Because his score out of 10 is an 8.
Yeah.
When I got told that you were an 8 and my mom was a 9, I went, really? An 8? And I was kind of shocked by that. So let's dive in. There's obviously a bunch of Avengers characters. Let's get into the newest one that was kind of introduced in Thor. Not really. It was Hawkeye. Did you like Jeremy Renner in this? He wasn't really given much to do.
I like Jeremy Renner. I don't like Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's just a man with a bow, right? Yeah, when he's top on the building. I just always think, like, people are always like, what's he gonna do against an alien invasion? Black Widow's more down to do things than he is. Which Black Widow, did you like her more in this film?
Yeah, she rocks.
You really like that opening scene with the chair when they hand her the phone and she rolls out and kicks a bunch of ass. Yeah. So let's dive into Hulk, now replaced by Mark Ruffalo.
Right.
You like Mark Ruffalo more or Edward Norton more so far?
Two different movies. I mean, I can
2 different versions of the Hulk.
Yeah.
My favorite moment with the Hulk in this is when he comes back when they're all lining up, and he goes, "See, the trick is I'm always angry," and just shifts into the Hulk and just punches the thing. It's just like, oh my god! One punch knocks it down.
Knocked it down.
I think it's called a Leviathan.
Okay.
But it's just awesome to see how that goes about. Man. You also have Thor in here, now a part of the team, which I thought that was the best. I like when he interacts with them. And I think my favorite thing...
you didn't expect it, though, because he was worlds away.
Yeah, and this is my thing that I like about the Avengers is when they're all together, you know what I mean? There's always these small little things. Of course, Hawkeye was tied into Thor, and then you had Agent Coulson also kind of tied into these. Samuel Jackson kind of tied into these, and you know, freaking Samuel Jackson's Furies kind of calling them all in. Level 7 threat. We got to do this. Yeah. Loki's back with the spear. He's taking over people one by one, trying to open up a giant portal, which he ends up doing to a bunch of Chitauri coming in, which are all the aliens. You're probably like, this is all mumbo jumbo. I have no idea.
No,
what
it makes me think of CERN people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But Thor, you know, kind of coming into this. So some of the big scenes with all the characters and me is that obviously that first fight sequence between all three of them. I know one of the notes they have is Thor's hammer hitting Iron Man's shield and it bouncing right off.
Yeah.
So that's something. So just so you know, the shield is made of the most strongest metal in the whole entire world. So even Thor's hammer, which is very powerful and can only be held by him, he is the only one able to do this. And guys, understand this. Please do not do spoilers in the comments section for my dad. He doesn't know anything about Endgame. He doesn't know anything about Infinity War. He's seen Infinity War. He's not seen.
I do read the comments if you see. I like those.
So please, if you throw in a spoiler for future films, obviously we all know we're going to be excited. I know I'm going to be damn excited. I'm going to record his reaction to a couple of the films that I definitely want to watch with him. But but it's funny, sometimes he doesn't react. Like we watch Uncut Gems, no reaction whatsoever. I was trying to wait for that, nothing happened, just sat there just like, okay. But
well, you expect that. Yeah, that was coming.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. But so you're going into that my favorite next sequence between all of them is when they're on the Quinjet, the giant helicopter thing, and they're all having those discussions and talking with one another, and you have this nice banter between them all.
Are they discussions or
well, kind of banter, I guess. And one of my favorite things is when Captain America goes, I get that. Because he doesn't know everything in this world. When they're making references, he goes, I understand that one. And I understand that. Yes, there's small jokes that carry on into different films that kind of tie into that, that especially is in the next one. So, so one of the notes he says, Hawkeye is cocky like Iron Man. It doesn't have the shit that he does. And then you like to call Captain America a capsicle because he was frozen in the ice.
Well, that's what they said. I thought that was funny when Iron Man called him that.
A capsicle. And that's the thing. And there's a
but
fun
it was. It's like this, this Hawkeye dude.
Fast.
Hold on. This Hawkeye dude, you know, he talks the shit like the Iron Man. But he doesn't really have the shit to back it up, so that's why I'm down on the Hawkeye.
So and
not
this
you,
is,
Jeremy.
Yeah, but and that's gonna change eventually. But Hawkeye's gotten cool. Hey, I'm not spoiling what he does or what happens to him, but he gets cool. So okay, first you said the bad guys looked like something out of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, that one that handed him
the
thing.
So the character he's talking about is a minion.
Like,
it's not even a big character. It's Thanos' minion.
You need to flash a picture of this.
I will, because I know who you're talking about.
Side by side.
It is well, they all look like Power Rangers. I mean, that's what you're saying.
Not
but
really.
Did you think Loki looked like a Power Ranger?
No, not at all. He's got these big freaking horns. He looks like something out of Satan.
And how did you like kind of the last? Because for me, this film is really fun. But it goes down on a ranking for me because you actually have a higher rating than I do. I'm at a 7.5 now. I think it's a good film. But for me, with other Avengers films that have built the stakes up at this point, it's I would rather rewatch those two than this one. Even though this one, I think, honestly, and I will say this, I think the next 20 years, if we're going to call any film a classic out of these MCU films, it'll be this film. This film was the first one that made it all come together and work and be good. And I'm curious again when we get to your other rankings with Phase 2 and Phase 3, and in general when we do end up ranking all of them, I'm curious. So for me, the best part about this whole film is the ending. The last third act of it is just awesome and kicks a bunch of ass. Once they all line up in that circle, it's just a go from there, fighting all the Chitauri, fighting them all off. You have Hulk using Loki as a rag doll, just throwing him around. Since you really like this film, there's some cool things coming down the line that's all gonna tie all back this into this. Yes, which I should get you the Funko Pop. There's a Funko Pop of him throwing them around. Yeah.
Oh man, with Loki.
Yeah, with Loki on his hand. It's really cool.
Very cool.
So yes, you love Iron Man's little jabs. You liked the whole last fight scene. I'm guessing the last whole third ending sequence was really good.
Right.
You have Iron Man sending a nuke up into the portal, destroys it, falls down, grabs him, and the next film after this you'll be watching is Iron Man 3, which shows off kind of how the PTSD of the elements of how do you deal with an end of the world situation and then coming out of that, you know. That's what I love about these films, because it develops these characters so much over that. So, obviously, Avengers, it's ending. Let's get to the end credit scene. Thanos turns around, smiles, and cuts the black. And then you get to the last one. I don't know if you guys watched it. The one of them eating food at the shawarma place. Did you guys not stay for that one?
Oh my god.
It's at the very, very end.
I think we did. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about that is, if you notice, Cap's hand is like this on his face. Yeah. It's because he was filming Snowpiercer during that, and he had his beard on. Oh. So, and they filmed that 2 days after the premiere. 2 days after the premiere, they went back in and filmed that real fast, threw everyone in the logo, and then added it into the whole entire film so they could have this, different development.
The one thing I would like to do about Marvel and say is that if the superheroes can't super get along, then how can they expect us humans to get along?
Yes, and you're right.
That was one of the things I saw in this Avengers, was a lot of this infighting that was just, it fills the credits and you see the things and there's jabs and stuff and verbal jabs and stuff like that, but there's a lot of infighting. It's like, come on, man.
And you get that when they're all fighting, it's like, just talk. It would have ended if you just talked.
Yeah, you want us to all talk.
Yeah, so, but just wait. Just wait. Okay. You'll see more. And when are you guys going to start phase 2? Because I'm sure now people are wondering.
Soon. Okay. I mean, we'll just keep this pace. We'll try to do a film a night, and I'll try not. I think the rest I probably haven't even seen.
I think so. The only ones you've seen upcoming. I'll say these are the ones but you probably don't remember. The Guardians you've seen. Yes. You've seen both Spider-Mans. You've seen
both Spider-Mans.
Yeah, Homecoming and Far From Home. You've seen both of them.
Did I?
Yes. I know you've seen Homecoming. I don't know if you watched Far From Home with them, because they already watched it.
But it's cool now, because I'm really paying attention.
I'm trying to remember. You've seen Thor Ragnarok, which you said was garbage. But I think it's going to be different now because you've now seen them all. Together, So, and then you've seen Captain Marvel as well.
And I do like the order.
Yeah. And personally, for me, the one I'm most excited to see you see is Captain America 3, Captain America 2, Black Panther, and of course the last 2 Avengers films. Those are the ones I'm really excited for you to see.
Did I see one of the last Avengers though?
You saw Infinity War, but you were falling asleep walking in and out, so you didn't. So it's gonna be different for you. And you've seen Doctor Strange. You've seen Doctor Strange as well. So, and that's what's gonna be fun, guys. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis. This next video will probably be coming in the next, hopefully, 2 weeks. That's what we're probably going to shoot for. We will see. If not, I'll make my mom rank them all, and that way we have some other content. But again, this video is called My Dad Ranks the MCU Phase 1 Films. So we're not going to be as in-depth as maybe a lot of other reviews will. But you enjoyed this. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this, Dad. I'm so happy. Thank you guys all for watching this. Thank you to my Patreon supporters as well, who are helping me do all these videos. It really means the world. All that little bit of money really gets saved and helps me a bunch. So thank you guys again. And of course, until next time, stay classy and look out for the next video very soon.
Peace!